Hey gang, we're here with Steve Martin, who is the CEO of Pond Technologies Holdings Inc., trading on the TSX Venture under the ticker Pond. Steve, how's it going?
It's going very well. Well, except other than being on the ice planet of Hoth today, and I'm dressed appropriately for it, for shoveling and removing snow.
Oh yeah, today I had like 2.5 feet of snow in my driveway. It was a mess, so which prevented a lot of people potentially from coming to Cantech, where you guys are have your booth on display.
We do.
Yeah. So how's that been so far?
Well, it seems like quite a few people made it there. You know, it's I think it's an important enough event, and people want some exposure to the kind of technologies and the opportunities that are around. That it's been a great show for us. Met with many past investors and many possible future investors as well.
So who do you find approaching you and the booth the most? Is it more on the institutional side, or just regular retail style investors, or?
I think we garner enough interest in what we're doing because of the sort of triple sustainability, where we're able to take a industrial waste and turn it into something of high value that also meets other sustainability requirements like sustainable proteins. I think there's enough interest that everybody comes to see us. We have a lot of millennials. Millennials seem to be really enthralled with what we're doing, but as well traditional investors who are looking for sort of the next thing, what's going to come up next. And sustainability challenges seem to be what everybody is focusing on. Yeah,
and I mean, actually, we should let's do a quick, brief overview of Pond again. I know a lot of viewers are familiar with your company, but just to recap for those who aren't, you guys grow
we grow algae, microalgae, off of the untreated emissions from large final emitters, or basically any source of industrial pollution. So if you think about it, oddly, pollution is actually the food for algae. Yeah. And the algae that we grow has remarkable value in the market as a sustainable protein. If people, in the morning start their day with a nice greens drink, likely they're having spirulina, which is algae. Additionally, there are other derived products that you can have from. One of them is in my hand, Regenurex. It's an astaxanthin product. Mm-hmm. Prevents swelling and a pile of other things. It's actually tremendous for if you've got a sore back from shoveling the snow.
Yeah, that's. Do you mind if I take a peek here?
Yeah.
Okay, so Regenurex. And the main ingredient here is algae?
The main ingredient is an algae-derived material called astaxanthin. It's the most powerful antioxidant known, and it's not just a little bit more powerful, it's like 300 times more powerful than everything else. So if we're concerned about oxidative damage to our body, this is the stuff that does it the best, and it is also what makes salmon the lovely pinky orange color that it is. It comes from that algae, yeah. And it's a very challenging to grow algae. Mm-hmm. We just purchased this company. We're completing the acquisition over the next couple of days. The definitive agreement's been signed. They have production facilities out in BC and very proprietary extraction technology, which gives us an advantage in the market. So our growth technology combined with their extraction technology and the lovely product give us a really good opportunity of vertical integration.
And that's the kind of thing that you would just take as sort of a health kind of, you don't need to have something wrong with you, it's just...
No, you don't, but it's actually an unusual product because many of the sort of health foods we take, like if you take vitamin C every day, truthfully, vitamin C is preventing scurvy, so you don't really kind of notice the absence of scurvy. You'd kind of, if I had scurvy, I'd take it. This is a little bit different because this is a product, a wellness product that actually does something. You will feel the difference. It fights all three causes of inflammation. It actually has some remarkable, sort of anecdotal, but the literature seems to point to it. It does things like help prevent sunburn. It prevents the oxidative damage due to exposure to the sun in real time. People report that it helps with sleep, but if you're concerned about oxidative damage, oxidants in general, people take vitamin E. Well, take one of these or 300 vitamin E capsules. Your choice.
What's sort of the price point of something like that?
It depends. This is a 4 milligram product. This one runs about $30 for the 60. I think there's 60 in this one. Sure. We also have a 12 milligram product that's sort of new to the marketplace. And one of the real advantages of this is it's not an unknown product. There are other manufacturers, but they all typically have quite a fishy smell to them. Right. And that's to do with the extraction technology. Our extraction technology, a wet extraction technology, doesn't provide that fishy smell. So my wife, who's a vegetarian, she doesn't like the other ones, but these ones are fine.
Huh, that's very interesting. So you guys are cleaning all the pollution on planet Earth and then giving people wonderful antioxidant.
And food and fish meal. We are trying to be a virtuous company, affecting a virtuous circle.
Sure. So last that I heard when you were working with, was it Stelco? I don't want to.
Yeah, we're building a full-scale, we're building a plant that will be growing this material, largely astaxanthin or related products at Markham District Energy, which is a small combined heat and power plant owned by the city of Markham up in Markham, Ontario. Yep. But we're also building a large-scale algae facility at Stelco and their Lake Erie Steelworks, and there we'll be growing sort of more bulk algae products, spirulina, the one I mentioned earlier, for probably targeted mostly for aquaculture and animal feeds. Mm-hmm. But additionally, there's another interesting product that comes out of there as well, and that's food colorants. People are becoming more and more concerned about where they're coming from, and synthetic ones are sort of poo-pooed, and rightfully so, I would say. The only source of blue food colorant that's allowed is from algae, and we'll be growing that at Stelco as well. It's called phycocyanin. All sorts of great names in algae. Yeah. Astaxanthin, phycocyanin, lots of other ones.
No, it's amazing you're able to find extra use cases for sort of, I guess, the core business.
Extra use at very high value. Phycocyanin is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars per ton.
Wow, okay. So you mentioned the build out of the Stelco. What's the time frame on that where you'd sort of it would be up and running? Or is
We're doing the first, it's a stage. With any large infrastructure project, it's a stage thing. The first stage is the seed bioreactor, the initial bioreactor that grows the algae for the other bioreactors. We're installing our third generation bioreactor right now in our test site. And that work should be completed over the next sort of 30 days, and then we'll start the shakeout, where the production values end up being, and then we continue on to the full build out at Stelco.
Okay, so is this the kind of thing where, looking really, really long term, is the Stelco project being quite large? Is that sort of almost like going to become a proof of concept for the company moving forward, where you can say, look, this works on large scales, and we're going to.
Well, I mean, we're convinced. I mean, I think it's beyond proof of concept. I mean, we have sort of the body of knowledge that says that, yes, we can do this. It will be the first large-scale commercial plant. So to the extent that it proves to the market that this is a viable option and shows the way forward, I would say that upon completion of the first project, then, the world is your oyster, right? It's just repeat until wealthy.
Okay, great. Well, looking ahead in the year, is there any milestones you want to touch on that investors might be able to look for?
Lots of them, but I don't think I'm allowed to talk about them.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Well, that's great. Steve, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of Cantech.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
No problem.